AI.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say AI, but I mean it's because you think of every other like sci-fi thing that we've watched or read,
Yeah.
it always ends in catastrophe. And it's something that we created that ends up being our own destruction, right? So I would say, AI, and it's only getting crazier. It does seem like this magical tendency with some of our technologies where it's like, how? It's the how factor behind some of them. Now, there's two different ways of looking at it, where it's like, we can't, discredit the capabilities of the human mind.
Research,
because there are some very brilliant and talented people that know how to do stuff that we do not know how to do. But somehow they dedicated their lives, their time to figuring out the why of how some of these things work that have happened. So there's that. But then
I believe in that, but at the same
Yes. So here's the other part though. Here's the other part. Follow me. The other part is there are other mind-boggling things.
like the auras. There's motion. Like we got motion.
Overused.
Aura.
I feel like aura is so overused.
By who though?
Everybody.
The aura.
You know what I mean?
The aura.
Man, the aura is just. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's so overused.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe, yeah.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
Subscribe.
Yeah. That's ridiculous, y'all.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We are live. We're drinking our water. That's very important. Let's do our intro of hosts.
Hey, welcome to another episode of That's Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Got one of your hosts here, Kurran Jones, No Capes Kaz on all the socials. Feeling good today on this Sunday. Who we got over here to our right?
Oh, yo, what's good? My bad. Who we introducing? Nah, shoot, but no, it's the one and only Big Mo. Another episode of That's Ridiculous, y'all. We here. Yup, it's going.
And then Donald, aka Swaggy D.
Hey,
Let's go.
what hat are you wearing today? This man always has like the fresh suits and hats.
Yo.
I'm actually wearing the Chico's Toxicos. I love Toxicos hat.
Hey.
Sir.
Okay.
We as usual, we got topics that we got. We have 5 different topics today. We're gonna dive into those soon, but to kick it off, like, what was ridiculous about y'all's week? Like, was there anything that occurred? Anything you witnessed? Anything that you saw that was like, yo, this was crazy. This was ridiculous. We just need to vent and talk about it. Before we talk about topics, we talk about what we witnessed. That was absolutely ridiculous.
I swung over by my old workplace
Oh.
to buddy, and
Okay.
I went there. Everything has changed. Everybody's at their throats. Like, they are literally going to kill each other. It's like, as soon as I stepped in that building,
Yeah.
everybody got happy. I was starting to get hugs and high fives and handshakes and everything.
Yeah.
That shows you how much of an impact. I think it showed me and reflected back how much of an impact I had back working there. So,
and this man, his last job, he had a boss that was like,
Damn,
you ever have like a boss that encourages you to leave? Like that.
No.
He won't like physically fire you, but he's not encouraging you to stay. Like, it was one of those kind of bosses.
Yeah, for real. This man literally told me, he said, how can I help you find a job since you don't like it here?
Yeah.
What?
Like what?
Damn.
Who says that to an employee?
What
like,
the
you wanted to
hell?
keep your people, so.
That's sketch.
That's crazy. Big Mo, what about you, dog? What was ridiculous?
Damn, this week, that's crazy.
This week, this weekend?
This week. Shoot, man. I see a lot of ridiculous stuff, man. For real. But this week, I don't even know. Last week, jeez. The last couple of weeks, actually. This is a different episode. It's been a couple weeks.
Hey.
Y'all been gone for.
Hey, we got sick. All right,
Yeah, y'all
sick.
was gone. But shoot, man, everything's ridiculous, man. Everything pretty much ridiculous. All right, okay. I'm thinking about just people, bro. Like,
what about people? Tell us, Mo.
People,
I'm thinking about people.
Just people. Sometimes, like, okay, like, I'm talking in codes. Like, there's just people that like they can control you or like
Yeah.
I don't know, just control you
Right.
like in a weird way, like, or have you follow them and walk in their footsteps. When you're your own person, you got your own type of method.
Yep.
But it's all about collaboration and and it's a collaboration thing,
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, be teamwork.
Yeah.
But you gotta still play your role. Like, you gotta be your own person. That's what's ridiculous to me. Like, just how people roll sometimes, man. Like, you just gotta be able to soak in how they they apply themselves. I guess.
But you still gotta be yourself. It's like I can't lose myself.
Yes.
With trying to be what you are.
Yeah.
How can we coexist?
Yeah, that's what's ridiculous.
Just too many sheeps.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
No, that's what it is. Yeah, you didn't hear the lambs crying. Kurran over. Bet.
I say for me, the most ridiculous thing. One of the most ridiculous things. I mean, I have ridiculous stuff at work. Ridiculous stuff. My mom called me like 20 times in one day. I was like, you stop. That's a text message. You can just text me.
Yeah.
But no, I love her. I would say the most ridiculous thing is something that happened to me yesterday. Somebody told me they could tell I was raised as an only child. They said I had only child syndrome. I was like, what does that mean? Only child syndrome. Man. I mean, mind you, I have 7 siblings. So
I know that.
But
That's crazy.
But I was kind of raised as an only child. So like my grandma, that's mom.
Yeah.
Y'all, they know me. But
Yeah.
anyone who knows me, they know like my grandma, like that's mom. So like for a good portion of my life, like I was, kind of just the only child. I didn't get with my siblings until like elementary school.
Yeah.
So, but is that a thing? Is there something socially different or awkward about people who are raised as like an only child? Because to me it sounds ridiculous.
Only child, I'm not an only child though.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah. So I'm like,
did you guys ever know anybody apart from me that was like an only child, and you could say like,
yeah, for sure.
Because to me, when I heard this, it was like my vision of myself was, oh, how do I socialize? How do I talk to people?
Be honest with you, no, I don't think. Have I only met no. There's always multiple kids, man. I'd say there's only probably like 3%. You'll come across somebody that's just an only child.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known a couple of them, and it does feel like they don't socially get it. Well, not like socially, like talk to people, like socially, like that social experience of like I had a sibling to actually share my stuff with. They had to treat you equally, or sometimes not so equally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think I've ever met an only child really.
Yeah, because like. For me, I think there's aspects of it where I might have like some of that, but not all of it. Because like I had siblings, and I'm like, y'all know me, they know me. Like I'm sociable, like I can socialize with anybody. But I don't think I'm like that awkward towards like it's hard to socialize or you're selfish. Because those are some. If you look it up, like I guess there's things about like the only child syndrome. Which I was like, what the hell? I never knew this. So anyway, if you're an only child. Comment below, let us know. Let us know if you were raised as an only child, or if you know somebody who's an only child.
Only child. I'm the oldest. I don't think it comes with a bunch of responsibility. It's just the same thing, man. Like, I don't think if I was raised the only child, even though I got 2 siblings, I don't know if anything will change. Like,
yeah, well, because I'm the oldest too. I think the only thing that's different is just like how you guys are raised. So like if you look between me and my brother, we're like 2 different people.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one who actually likes to, go and work for his stuff and like will pay it out of my pocket. He'll just wait or like have somebody pay for him or do whatever. Just like because he's gotten that mentality of that structure. But other than that, there's nothing really too different though.
I feel that. Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. There is a lot of
people
that like have siblings, so it is. But I mean, there are some single, parent households, with just one child. You know what I mean? So they exist. Y'all comment.
For sure they do. They do exist, but that's weird.
So
I think I did actually. No, everybody got kids. I got more kids. So even if you got 2 different moms or dads.
Yeah. That's kind of
still
what
related.
Yeah,
You still related. Like
Right.
you're not the only child.
This is true. So that's what's been ridiculous with us.
Yeah, that's
We all
good.
shared. Getting into our other most ridiculous topics of today, we got 4 things that we're talking about. The first one is weirdest inventions, like in history. Number 1 is like the baby cage. Is listed on here.
You gotta lock up your baby?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like an urban window baby cage dubbed by Time as one of like 50 worst inventions.
Yeah.
The urban window baby cage was used in the 1930s to give infants plenty of like, fresh environment, that kind of thing. But I guess they're like metal cages, which they're kind of been upgraded throughout the day, like for those ones who have kids,
Yeah.
But that's one. That's one of the weirdest things. Glowing tears. Have you guys heard about these? Like
glowing tears. What the
glowing
hell?
tears.
What's a glowing tear?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Glowing tears. Women standing by a classic car with glowing tears in the 1960s. Tear company Goodyear had an interesting idea. And what are tears? Is it like lights?
Like a tear as an eye drop tear?
No, it's like
Or a tier as in like tier like in levels in management.
Oh, wow. So I went to public school and I was like reading it wrong. Tires. My apologies. Glowing tires.
He said tear. That is not a tire. What is
My okay, the way it's spelled throws it off. So like you look at it and it's like
Tire.
it says
Tire.
tear. But
No.
this one says Tyres. Tears.
What?
I'm still thinking tire.
Okay. Maybe glowing tires makes some
Like,
sense.
you know, when you spell tie, T-Y.
Why?
Some
Yeah,
people
that's
spell
the way
it
it's
T-Y,
spelled,
yeah.
Huh.
I've never known.
What
I always thought
article
it was
is this?
T.I.
Is this a article?
So I guess they have it's not a
What
glowing
company is
tires.
it? Yeah.
That's like one weird invention. I didn't know that was an actual thing.
So, like, the tires glow?
The tires glow, bro.
Damn, tires. You know tires they come from Akron, Ohio.
Why do you know that?
Come on now. Automobile industry was created pretty much in Detroit, and then tires came from the birthplace of rubber was Akron, Ohio.
Are you sure?
Yes, Firestone, Goodyear tires.
Why do you know this?
Because I was born in Akron, Ohio.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but your
LeBron
birthright.
James.
It's your birthright to know these things.
Steph Curry with the wrist. Akron, Ohio. Yeah, it's birthplace of rubber, man. Tires. So I'll say the best tires, Goodyear and Firestone.
Oh my God. Hey, y'all are looking for tires, you know where to look. The next thing is like a shaving machine. This is an actual thing. Like mass shaving machine. The mass shaving machine was an unusual invention that was used in the 19th century. Allowed barbers to shave dozens of men at the same time.
So, like, a bunch of shavers on a stick, or
No, they're talking about what
Not
we
electric.
use now.
Oh,
Like clippers, like
They're all. It looks like you're sitting on one big seat, and it's like, kind of goes across. I've never seen that, like ever. But again, that's in the 19th century, so that's
Okay. How about you tell us instead of reading the article of how you feel like it's the most ridiculous?
a shaving machine.
Oh, you want to rate their most ridiculous inventions?
I think
Ridiculous.
that is pretty damn ridiculous because it doesn't exist. I don't think it exists.
What's your personal ridiculous invention?
Oh my! Like if I were to create one.
No, you create one, or no? How about the one that has been created? What's been ridiculous? You think like
One of the most ridiculous. AI.
AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say AI, but I mean it's because you think of every other like sci-fi thing that we've watched or read.
Yeah.
It always ends in catastrophe. And it's something that we created that ends up being our own destruction, right? So I would say, AI, and it's only getting crazier. I feel like by the day, if you look at like the technology with AI, how it's kind of blown up, and now there's segments. Mine is like the hands of like any AI picture or video. You can always tell like it's horrible AI by looking at the hands of a picture, like in AI stuff. But sometimes it's hard to differentiate reality versus what is AI. You know, and I think that's what's scary and most ridiculous to me is kind of how much it's grown. What do you guys think about AI?
Yeah, no. I think because I the first time I used it was actually a couple weeks ago. Because I was in a Zoom meeting and they were trying to teach me how to use the new software.
Yeah.
Because I just started this job.
Yeah.
And so like I couldn't figure out why these numbers, like I had all the numbers clicked and everything, and it wouldn't pop up correct. So then the lady couldn't figure it out. We spent weeks on this, and then she's like, "Why don't we just throw it in ChatGPT?" Threw it in that. I put in 2 statements, started spitting things out, and it's like, all right, it's like super accurate because it's like it even got the amount that I was off by that I calculated myself, telling me where the discrepancies are, and I'm like, this thing is a lot smarter than it did it in a couple of seconds, and I had to do it in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn.
Jeez.
So it is scary.
Artificial.
I feel like the artificial.
But AI's it was invented in like 1999. That was a birth.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's definitely existed. It's just
artificial
grown
intelligence
since then.
Yeah, for sure with all the new stuff.
Because I mean, back then it wasn't. So that, I guess you said that for a lot of things. Because the birth of social media and how that's kind of changed things.
Yeah.
AI has been around, but like it wasn't really a big thing. For
artificial intelligence. I guess.
Yeah. So
most ridiculous thing. Huh.
Yeah. What about you guys? Could you think what are other inventions that are like the most craziest, ridiculous thing that you would rate? Like this is pretty crazy that exists.
Yeah, I think technology, computers.
Like reindeer hot dogs. You guys like anything of that shit?
What?
You ever had a reindeer hot dog?
That's gnarly, bro.
Bro, it is.
Deer meat is just like, deer meat is just kind of
weird. They caramelize the onions and they cook them in Coca-Cola.
That aroma.
Slap some freaking, what do you call it, cream cheese on top of that. It's a reindeer hot dog.
Deer.
It's just deer meat.
Yeah,
deer meat is just, oof. It's good. It tastes like beef in a weird way, but it got this weird aroma.
Is it gamey?
Yeah, the blood or something. Just be like, oh Lord.
That's how it is with elk.
Nope. I say computers, man. Computers, cars. Like cars it just throws me off sometimes. Like, I'm just like people. They got the science behind it. Y'all know mechanics know some of them know what the hell they're doing. But it's just like that is just weird.
I agree.
Like the engine, like it's just running. Like I don't get it. Like,
the engine.
It's just running. Like the human body is just weird too, bro.
Like
we were every little. I say the most ridiculous invention is I say the human body.
The human body.
Yeah,
the
and
thing that's made up of
cars,
proteins.
computers.
Yeah.
But somebody literally had to like make a specific design like to make sure the body is working. Like
yeah, bro.
like it's
no,
just
for
weird.
real.
Like the heart, the brain, and in each cell. I mean, like the nervous system, like.
And
somebody had to make sure every nerve was making sure everything was operating at a.
Bro, God's creation is miraculous.
That's crazy to me.
Human body, I would agree with that. One of the other crazy inventions I would think of, like photos and videos. Do you guys ever think about that?
That's weird too.
You know what I mean? Like just think of the essence. And I mean, I could look this up.
That's ridiculous. The technology.
Like, think about it. Like, we have the ability, and we've been doing it for many years, right? Where we can capture an image of a person. Like, where did that idea and technology come from? How do you fabricate, using light and capturing an image into a video or a photo? Where does that come from?
I know how it works, but
it's still
weird.
boggling.
The technology is just like
boggling to me.
Who the is sitting there like, okay, if you get this light and then it's and then
how do you capture an image?
That's strange.
Well, it all starts from like, for years we're painting portraits, pictures, and then somebody actually came across, I'm tired of painting portraits and pictures, and then they start working to figure a way to capture something without having to do all that work.
A flash, that is just ain't it weird though?
It is. It's always
You know the
been
old
strange
pictures
things.
back in the 1800s when
Right,
they just
with the
big
light
ass
bulb.
flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just makes an image of you.
Like, how do you
Like-
capture an image? That's
Like you just like, for instance, flash.
It's
right?
magic. Don't you think it's witchcraft and magic in a weird way? I feel like because cars and airplanes and people. I understand as an American,
yeah.
I understand. Yes, America, go America. Like, yes, I'm American, but I get it. Like, scientists and people came around. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's witchcraft to me. I think it's like.
Well, here's the thing that I'll say.
You got something operating without like the machinery, like
It's
engine's like it's just weird.
But I look at it in two different ways.
The cameras,
Because you guys may think this is ridiculous, and you let me know.
magic or
right?
something. Yeah.
Because I think, with Moan, I agree. In one sense of where it does seem like this magical tendency with some of our technologies, where it's like how it's the how factor behind some of them. Now there's two different ways of looking at it, where it's like we can't discredit the capabilities of the human mind.
Research,
because there's some very brilliant and talented people that know how to do stuff that we do not know how to do, but somehow they dedicated their lives, their time to figuring out the why of how some of these things work that have answers to them, right? So there's that, but then
I believe in that, but at the same
yes. So here's the other part, though. Here's the other part. Follow me. The other part is there are other mind-boggling things, and again, if we're talking science doesn't mean you know everything. It is literally the study of things, to try and figure it out and learn, right? How does this work? There are other mind-boggling things to where you don't always have an answer, and it's like, well, how did this come about? At this time with this kind of technology, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts to bring about like other conspiracies of like, okay, did aliens make the pyramids? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, there's other things that come about where you're like, this is really, like, is there conspiracy behind it? Were there aliens that gave us technology to figure this shit out? Because we're not that smart, but...
Okay, well, it's proven right now.
Yeah.
Look, I already knew that the pyramids, bro. I already knew about it. I feel like there's been ancient... The Earth is older than what we think it is. Like, there's ancient civilizations just buried underground, underwater. They've been here. And even the Bible talks about how God wiped away all kinds of civilizations. Like,
this is true.
Like that. But this is facts. I don't need to be like... I'm not talking on...
Yeah.
It's like, it's real. Like, so I'm just like, Like, it's... But the pyramids, NASA now owns the pyramids of Egypt in Giza now.
They really do?
Yes, NASA owns that area now. They own like 50% or something of that area. The reason why is because it's an ancient type of technology. They don't understand, but now they just prove what new X-ray technology.
Yeah.
It's like on the government. The government posted, all the news stations reported about it. But now they're saying the pyramids are bigger than what they think it is. They use the X-ray machine.
Yeah.
And there's pillars. There's like an underground city under the pyramids.
What the heck?
Like there's these pillars like hooked to the damn pyramids that go like thousands and thousands and thousands of feet down, bro.
That's crazy.
So no, this is like literally proven. They just did an article on it, posted it like just a month and a half ago. Like,
well, see, that's what I mean. You think about certain designs and technology that was created years ago,
like
thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how did they do that then? And obviously, you had certain kind of manpower. I won't mention the specific role or title of those people that actually were a part of that. But, it's like, how were they still able to conduct, certain technologies and structures like back then, such as Egyptian times. So it is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. But there's two different facets of that. Again, the mind of the human mind. We can do some really incredible things. Then there's other things that are just outside of our realm, and it's like there begs the question of the how.
Right.
So, interesting topic for sure.
No, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the cat meow machine?
No.
What?
Big Moan's into cats.
Hell no. Oh hell no. I hate cat. I'm allergic.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm allergic. Like my eyes swell up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like the person like eventually that I start dating, like I always hope that they don't have cats. Because it's like
one of them always do.
One of us is gonna have to go.
Yeah.
One
No,
of
I
us-
was up with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a mechanical cat that could meow 10 times in a minute, and the eyes lit up each time. So that's really all.
One of them little robot toys when we were kids.
It almost looks like a sewing machine. Like you plug it in, and it's like this weird thing where the eyes light up and it just meows. It's one of the most ridiculous inventions that exists. Yeah. You guys have never heard of this?
No.
What the hell?
You looking this stuff up?
I'm telling you, like these things actually exist. Wow. There is okay. You guys have heard of like you've been on a plane, right? You have a neck pillow, right?
Yeah.
There's literally like a napping pillow, and you put this thing on your head like a mask. One of the worst inventions like ever because it almost looks like a suffocating hazard. But like you put it on like a mask and it looks like you have like alien eyes. And stuff. But it's one of the most like ridiculous inventions, and they obviously don't sell it anymore. But a napping pillow, you can like literally wear it as a mask.
The hell?
Yeah.
Stupid.
These things exist, y'all. These things exist. Submarine car. I'm sure you've probably heard of that.
But that's like some James Bond. Yeah, we all heard of that.
Is it practical? Would you guys think it works? Like,
hell no. Maybe.
Because I mean, think about how it depends.
There's probably some spies out there that got some type of car.
How far down can it go without like crushing the human body? Because you do realize like how you can only go so deep.
Yeah.
Where like in the ocean, like the pressure itself will. We can only go so far down.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
Sure.
Like if you think about the ocean and like space, you can't go too far down because you'll get crushed. But you can't go too high up without the right equipment, or else the air gets too thin. It's just interesting how those things work. I don't know why.
Right.
It popped in my brain. These little elements of how our planet works. But yeah, submarine car. Would you drive one? Why or why not?
I mean, I probably
That'd be
would.
dope, yeah.
Just to see what it's like underneath without like a submarine or something.
But now there's a car that's public. You could like literally drive in the water, like in a river, and it won't like sink or anything. Like it's like a boat car, but it could get submerged underwater like this. Like it could go under, like the car will go under, and then it could go right out of the water. It depends how deep.
Right.
But and it won't sink. It depending if it's like the car's too if the car's submerged, it can only work still how deep, depending on how like the feet of the car, how big the car is. It can come right back out. And if it goes in deeper water, it'll float and get across and then drive right out.
Okay.
It's called BYD. It's like this SUV in China.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's real. It's public. It's a public car now.
It's actually pretty useful because if there's somewhere that's flooded or whatever,
you
can
get
just
right
float.
out of it.
Yeah, you can.
I hate that car. I drove that the BYD car.
Yeah.
It's called Build Your Dreams.
Build your
Yeah, but it's not sold in America because it's a Chinese company car.
I see. Okay.
But no, it has like all these issues. Like we can only have certain type of cars in the United States. Like that can pass some whatever their transportation. What they can only go, they have to like hit certain regulations.
Okay.
But this car, it's not. It's a big company. It's competing against Tesla right now. It's one of the biggest electric EV car companies.
What the hell?
Called BYD. Yeah.
Some of them cars out there in China, like
they got different brands
they're
out of America.
Built different, and they're like.
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen some videos. There's one SUV that's a Chinese car. It's like I can't remember the name of it.
It looks sweet, but don't
they can turn around.
Yeah.
Like this. Like there's different capabilities and the glass sunroofs, ambient lighting.
Yeah.
Other cars are like
they're pretty sweet,
magnificent, beautiful. Yeah.
But no, they're
pieces
of
imagine your car just being able
shit.
to do that, like turn around like that. That's insane.
Look, we got the Hummer EV, bro.
The Hummer EV.
It can do crab walk. It goes like it walks like a crab, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the new Hummer EV.
Yeah, Chinese cars, bro.
Oh, but no, bro. Yeah, no, it was called a BYD. I rented one in Germany.
Yeah.
They got over on me pretty much because I rented an Audi at first.
What?
Yeah, I rented this Audi, bro, and they didn't have it.
Dang.
They were sold out. They're like, okay, we can give you an EV. I should have thought about. I'm just stupid. They got over me and gave me this damn BYD. I never heard of it. It's an electric car that's out in other countries besides America.
Oh, okay.
BYD, and it comes from China. It's one of the most sold EVs.
So when you were out there, you had to rent.
Yeah, okay, and I'm stupid because Europe they don't go they use EVs, but it's not. They're still off of diesel fuel. They need gasoline, diesel fuel.
Yeah.
In Europe, bro. That's the main thing they use. So this EV, bro, I have to have the app.
What?
In order to charge the car, bro.
Oh, this is one of those electric.
So
okay.
and I didn't pay for the extra money on my service to use my phone out of the country.
Damn.
So I couldn't download the app unless I had Wi-Fi at the damn hotel or wherever I was at.
That's crazy. So your ass was like stuck.
That shit died quick as and there's no speed limits in Germany.
What do you mean?
Yes, there's no speed limits in Germany, bro. Only in certain areas where there are restrictions.
Damn.
There's no speed limits there.
So you drive
they got the
fast
Autobahn. Yeah, they got going fastest. So you gotta go to speed limit these motherfuckers, or unless you stay on the right lane with the semi trucks.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, bro, that battery was dying like every time I hit the gas, this was like this, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can't use in that car,
So
bro.
if you use an app.
I got stranded.
charge.
Yeah, I got stranded
Wow.
on the Autobahn, bro.
Is that common in like other countries?
But no, they got EVs.
We have those here too.
But no, we got Tesla chargers everywhere.
Yeah.
We're starting to have them everywhere. Like
Yep.
electric chargers are pretty much everywhere now.
That's crazy.
But it came with the socket. But the socket, if you use a regular socket to charge your car,
yeah.
that takes 7 days to charge, bro.
It's the whole app thing that throws me off. I've never heard.
No,
of
here
it.
in America, you could just go and pay just like regular gas.
Right. Yeah, but you have to have.
Out there, you have to have it like an app.
Gotcha. See, yeah, that's crazy.
And then you use it, and then you start being able to charge the car.
What?
Yeah. So it was like an electronic peg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay.
But it is. That's the ridiculous part about it too. It's like
bro.
even here in
BYD.
like America, like if you have a gas powered car and you go to the dealership. So like an example, my mom goes to since her car is always in the shop for some reason. I don't know why, but they'll give her a car to rent and it's or to loan out the loaner car.
Yeah.
But they'll always try to give her an electric car, and we don't have electric chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So then at home, so like if that dies in the garage at home, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember they gave her an electric car once, and we were at work, and she's like, "I don't have a place to charge this, so you guys gotta go charge it at somewhere in the city."
Mm-hmm.
I've spent like almost 2 hours looking for an electric charger to go and charge the car because not all of them, like it'll ping it on the map if you use Google Maps.
Yeah.
But some of them are private chargers that somebody owns.
You don't got the connector to charge the damn car.
So then it's like then you have to go and find a public station, which some reason there's none in Denver.
Yeah. Yep. Damn.
Yeah, that's just like it's a hassle, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you got the damn Tesla, like all
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah.
No, bro. Electric EVs, bro.
Alright, what's the next topic?
All
here?
right. So the next topic, we're gonna dive. I'll take a break from our like ridiculous inventions because there's still more. But this is a topic that was brought up to me that I thought is fun, and this is something that's engaging for y'all who are watching because I really think it speaks to the younger.
What's ridiculous, man?
It was streaming, and everybody wanting to be a streamer. Now we know that content creation is a thing because that's what we do. However, this whole concept of streaming, it has a culture within itself. Is it what are the pros? What are the cons? What is most ridiculous to you guys when you look at today's generation and then you look at streaming and how it seems like it's this thing that everybody has latched onto, even verbally with some of like our culture and words that are said, information that's taken in. Streaming is kind of like at the headlines. I feel like with a lot of creators. So for you guys, I want to hear with us, we're all going to share our opinions on it, but I'll let you guys share first. What are your thoughts on streaming and its impact on today's culture?
I mean, it's prevalent. It's prevalent everywhere.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of streams. And
Yeah.
It's just the entertainment value because
Oh, yeah.
people with a lot of time on their hands that can do things that you're not, as a viewer, gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
You can experience it that way. And then, coming from the realm, as I've done it, I've done streaming before.
Yeah.
And, it's not as easy as a lot of people think, because you have to sit in front of a camera, whether you're playing games or you're chatting or, how do you stay engaged? But also, if you're first starting out, you're not getting like hundreds of people to watch you right off the bat. You have to continuously stream for a while.
You might have like 3 people in that
right,
stream,
or you might not have anybody, and you have to just continue on with those 8 hours or 10 hours of your stream, right? And just keep going and talking until people come in. And then, like, I didn't realize like how it is, because my brother wanted to be a streamer too, and that like, it does take time and effort. And like, once you step into somebody's shoes, like, I'd always like, why are you even doing the streaming thing? Like, it's not worth your time. And then when I finally did it, I was like, okay, this opened a brand new lens. Like, it's not as easy as you think. You just get in front of a camera and, do stuff like that, just like this podcast. Like, get in front of a camera and doing and talking like this into that magnitude. And I think I didn't start seeing success until like maybe like my 4th day of streaming. When I was actually streaming games that maybe people were into at the time. And then they were like rating me, and then like, I still have like 9 followers on my Twitch chat. I haven't been there for forever.
I've never made a Twitch, y'all.
So
Switch, me either. Not yet. I made a Rumble account.
What's wrong? Oh, I know what
Rumble. It's like it's just like YouTube. But it's like it's more so open. You can do whatever you want on there. Except like pornography, obviously.
Except for that.
That's like but no, it's not. You're not censored. Like, you don't get shadow banned. Like, so I get more views on there. It's like I post a video, and if you look at it, that will have like over 500 plays. Like, when it comes on YouTube, it's like I'm limited. Like, it's like you gotta be.
I think I agree with both of them. I agree with both of you guys on this. And then, in my take on the streaming culture, I think it's one of those things of like.
Hey, hold up. Hands down, the top 2 streamers, Kai Cenat.
Oh yeah.
And ISO Speed.
Yeah.
You know where ISO Speed is from Ohio too.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah.
They're definitely huge. Definitely.
Yo, the Streamers University, the Kai Cenat, that was filmed at the University of Akron. That's where I went to college. Yeah. Wow. That's where I graduated college. That's where it was all filmed there.
I didn't know that.
I know. I was like, what the.
Big. Kai's very big.
Kai's on a. ISO Speed is on a different level though.
I mean, when they both have been to WWE. That's enough said. Like, come on. What's the WWE?
That's ISO Speed. I don't think Kai Cenat went on.
Kai's been there too. He's been
okay. Gotcha. Yeah. But streaming is, in sci-fi films, they always talked about like the entertainment and the media industry will look like what streaming is today right now.
And Taco Bell will be a gourmet restaurant in the future.
Hey, they just opened the third. Demolition Man. But shoot, no, they just opened one up on the beach in California.
Taco Bell?
Yes, a Palisade. It's like restaurant.
Jesus, let's just hope we don't get any diarrhea.
5-star restaurant, Taco Bell, y'all.
I would have to say my take on streaming. I think it, based off of what these two guys shared, I agree with. It's great. It's cool. There's the entertainment value, like Swaggy D was saying. Like, you have the entertainment because, again, there's this person you connect with that's living and doing these other things that you may not normally be able to do, but you're able to view from a different perspective, a certain lens, and it's kind of fun to follow them along this journey. Then there's the other part of the creator aspect where it's like, Ramon is like, you have to have a passion for it. Like, there's people who, like, if you're doing streaming, you got to be passionate about it, or else it's like, there's no way you're going to be able to kind of keep up with that kind of lifestyle. And I agree with both where it's like, I get why it's so prevalent. And again, it even goes, I would say, it goes back to like TV has changed. TV is now like this, right? Like TV is our phones, it's our computers. Like, TV itself is not just cable, it's streaming. Streaming is a big part of that. Like, it's... for better lack of words, it's people's Seinfeld. of today. Like, you know what I mean? You can literally be talking about nothing,
Right.
but you're getting this entertainment value through streaming. So it has changed the game for sure. I do think there is a culture where it has become trending, and you see that with kind of like everything. Rather be clothes, music, whatever. Yeah. There are times where it's like, okay, streaming is just big, it's popping, and everybody's trying to do it. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be successful at streaming, but you do see where it's like, this is trending compared to other, facets of entertainment. So, yeah, streaming is wild. It is definitely interesting. Any other thoughts from you guys pertaining to streaming?
Streaming.
I think you have to be able to also take a lot of negativity.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who talk or, or just don't like you. And and that's just life.
That's just life in general, for sure.
But you got to deal with a lot of negativity online and kind of ignore those things out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to have like a tough. Develop a tough skin, and it's almost like you have to realize perfect example. I worked at this place called My Gym when I lived in California, and I hated it because it was like you had to do stuff with these little ass kids. My Gym, if you know anything about it, it's like where you do these activities, physical activities. You're moving kids around, and
what
you have
the
to
hell?
You're almost like a human version of Barney. Like you have to be like Barney and excited and smiling, even when you don't want to smile. That kind of. And I hated it because I hated the job. Didn't pay that much. They wanted me to do all this studying and I just wasn't about it, right?
Right.
So, but again, I think it go, and I'm using that as an example because of streaming. I think there are times like, Swaggy D was saying, you do have to have a tough skin. You almost have to put on this different persona when you're tapped in to that kind of lifestyle where it's like, I might not want to hear these trolls or whatever, but, I know what I'm doing as far as my content, my passion. You kind of have to put on this like character, persona, because you do meet some of these people and you're like, wow, they're so like chill and different from what they present themselves online. It's like, you're almost playing a role to, fulfill the product that you're giving to people.
Right.
Essentially, where it doesn't become so personal, because, let's face it, sometimes the jobs we have, they suck. And you hate some of the aspects of it. But again, you're like, you know what? When I step into this role,
I had a boss that told me you need tough skin when you're in these like specific roles.
Yeah, bro.
At a company, an organization.
Oh yeah.
Even drug dealers will tell you that. You gotta have tough skin, kid.
Yeah, tough skin. Period. Like that's
these streets are cold.
That's some facts. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Period. Like apply that in life, like everybody, like for real.
Hopefully my analogy made sense. I kind of went around with it.
No, it didn't. It made perfect sense. You need that. It's called milking it. Like.
Ooh.
Hey, I got nipples, Greg.
Hey.
Can you milk me?
I was just talking to my younger brother about that. I was like, he was wearing a bonnet in our FaceTime call. I was like, bro, I bet you let girls like suck on your nipples.
Oh, gnarly. No. No.
That's ridiculous, right? But I was like, bro, you look like you dabble. I feel like you dabble. And he was like, what does that mean?
Oh, hell no. That sounds gnarly.
All right.
I look like dipping that dabble. That sounds crazy, bro. How about does the term phrase aura sound good? Like
aura?
Aura. Like the aura there's motion. Like we got motion.
Overused.
Aura.
I feel like aura is so overused.
By who though?
Everybody.
Aura.
You know what I mean?
The aura.
Man, the aura is just the aura. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's so overused.
There's an aura about you.
Yeah.
It's so overused. So overused.
What about motion? Like you got motion.
I don't care that much.
Like you riz.
Moist. Moist.
I never heard that. That's
you never
corny.
heard moist?
that sounds gnarly as
There are people who get pissed off about that word. We're like, don't say that word, moist.
I literally found a song that uses that word, and my coworker did not like that. The word moist, and I kept saying, I played that song and it just used moist repeatedly, and
moist,
they were done at the end of that.
I eat more. Weird, like This what the f*** you saying? No, I never heard that.
You go to the baking aisle in King Supers, you can look at the cakes, and they sell cakes that are, they say super moist. You know what I mean? super moist.
Oh, hell
It's
no.
a thing.
I'm
It's a thing,
about
y'all.
to start trolling. Bro. Yeah.
Super moist. What do you mean?
Hell no, that sounds
You know,
crazy.
we're gonna keep the ball rolling. We're gonna keep the ball rolling with these ridiculous topics. And as we're rolling, there's a thing called a flizz bike. Have you ever heard of this?
That's corny.
A flizz bike is literally, think of wearing a backpack that is like a bike, but you know what I mean? Like you're strapped into it, and you're like, yeah, it's a flizz bike with this.
Hell no.
And you're rolling.
No.
Now I'm not gonna go through
Like
the
Tron is pretty hard. Like when they was like they throw their little stick and then boom, like it's a handlebar and then it turns into a whole bike.
Flizz bikes are like an actual thing, y'all.
No, that's something crazy.
Flizz bikes are an actual thing. I think like just safety wise, that sounds weird because there seems to be like some constriction. Because you think of a bike, but the seat is small and then you have these straps that go over your shoulders, so you're literally riding like this. Safety wise, I feel like that's weird. I don't think I would never do that.
I got hit by a car on a bike before. You know, you see movies and that happened, bro. Like,
Then you also like went off a cliff.
Yeah, California.
Oh, another story.
That shit was,
Yeah. He's like, how do you know about that?
That
forgot that he told me that.
That was crazy too, bro.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, car accidents. Yeah, man. Nah, yeah. Wear your seatbelt. Yeah. My brother told me that day, like some Final Destination. Yeah, you won't wear your seatbelt. Like, that can happen. Like that night, bro, we went off a cliff, like in a fucking mountain in Hollywood Hills. Like,
you're a perfect example. Not all black people die in horror movies. You know what I mean?
Hey, at least I was like,
he survived.
I made it in I was like, man, I'm in California. Like, damn, I always wanted to be in California as a kid. Yeah. Obviously, I've been hanging out there. My brother lived there. Like, crazy. What's crazy is he lived there, and that's where I wanted to live when I was a kid. I'm like, when I'm 18, I'm going there. Yep. He did that when he was 18, but I still, I did my own grind. I pursued my own different missions that God had for me. But like, it was just crazy. But I go out there like heavenly. But, and I know LA is like a an evil, wicked place. It has its history. Yeah. But I still like California is still beautiful, man.
No,
like,
with California.
I love California.
For 2 years. I mean, I like stopped talking to this mother.
Yeah,
I stopped talking to them. Well, actually, I met you when I came back. But like, just deporting out them, I was like, well, all my people in Denver.
Life.
You, bro.
Yeah, you literally said.
No, but I love the vibe out there in California. It's beautiful. The palm trees, the ocean. There's a lot of homelessness. You go by the ocean, there's a lot of homelessness.
No, it's wicked. It has its wickedness. But
I will say this: you are right.
It's just beautiful.
I moved back because of that feeling. Part of it is because kinship. It's different when you're coming out of state for sure. But I always felt like I would always say this phrase years ago. It felt like it was soulless to me. When I lived out there, and I was like, it just never felt like home. Biggest advice I give anybody.
Shoot, I was born. Okay, I was born in Ohio. Yeah. I left when I was like 8 years old. Yeah. I moved to Colorado. I've been in Colorado. I was in Colorado my whole life. Yeah. Yeah. I consider this home compared to Ohio. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I was born here in this hospital, but I'm just like, this ain't really home to me. I went to college there. I went to college in Ohio too. Yeah. I would say don't ever live where you vacation. Home.
Never live where you vacation. That was one of the biggest things.
Cali's still dope though. If I had cash and if I was in the industry like on that type of level.
It's different. Like if you are in the industry and you're out there for like specific.
I had a home. I got everything just going. Got a career opportunity and stuff out there. Like a real stable corporation position. Yeah. Like I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. If I could have lived,
you gotta stand your ground though, because people out there is on it's a very liberal, satanic type of place, bro. Like
it is weird. I did see a lady.
But you gotta stand strong, bro. You gotta be strong, bro.
It's crazy as hell.
You gotta be strong out there. You could it's like, California is one of the most populated places in the country.
Yeah.
Like you got to be careful in them type of places. Like you got to be a soldier and stand your ground.
Yeah.
I feel like I prepared myself, even though I know there's still gonna be some battles I'm gonna have to go through out there. Like,
now, what part of Cali are you talking like Southern Cali?
I like to live in man. I like I like Calabasas. I like Orange County, Malibu.
Okay. So yes, still more Southern for sure. Because I was like, if you go Northern, it's so different.
Rancho Cucamonga, I like that.
Yeah. The desert. I mean,
Yes,
it's like they have short mountains.
Yeah.
I transferred out to California for work years ago, but I went to Rancho Cucamonga, but it's.
But at least you pursued it. Like you did it.
I didn't want to live in Rancho.
It's still one of my main missions. I'm gonna have to I'm going to have to do. But
you'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
And I tell you that because somebody told me the same thing, and I was like, fuck off.
No, my brother, he's still there. My brother is 28, pretty much about to be 28 right now. Yeah. He moved there when he was 18 and never left. California,
is that by choice?
No. It's by choice, and plus, as a man, my mom, my family raised us to be kind of they taught us.
Yeah.
But my brother, he left, he did it. I left too. I had to go. My mom sold her house and I'm getting an apartment. I'm going to get some other property in back to Ohio. So I had to leave.
What's Ohio known for, by the way? It's potatoes.
I told you, Rubber City. It's the birthplace of aviation. Okay. Planes were invented in Ohio.
Don't they have potatoes there too?
Yeah, there's potatoes there. Kroger, all your food comes from Ohio. Kroger is from Ohio.
Maybe it's Idaho.
They also produce
LeBron James. Steph Curry's from there. Halle Berry. Who else? Cat Williams is from Ohio. Steve Harvey's from Ohio.
Hey.
A lot of people are from Ohio. Jerry Springer.
Is he?
He was the governor of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hey.
A lot of people,
A lot of people in Ohio. Okay.
Yeah. It's the birthplace of football too.
Is
the
it
NFL,
really?
Yeah. Cincinnati, Ohio, the Canton, Ohio Hall of Fame is out there.
Are you a Bengals fan?
No.
Okay.
No. Bengals, no, they got the Cleveland Browns, bro.
Yeah,
They got two teams in Ohio.
That's crazy.
But no, Ohio's that's one of them old states, so bro. This shit's been around.
That's crazy, dude.
Double A or whatever, triple, the double A meetings for alcoholics.
Oh, that's
from Ohio.
What?
Because the automobile industry is pretty much from Ohio.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff has popped off.
Yeah, in Ohio.
Out of Ohio. Damn.
Aviation, planes. We want to be able
to
fly.
The more you know.
Yeah.
The more you know, bro.
No, that's just facts.
So I would say it's a no-go on the, what was I going to call it? The Riz bike. The Flizz bike. Definitely a no-go.
Hell no. That's ridiculous.
Now, there are so many ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Now the whole so I'm gonna circle back to one that we mentioned earlier, because I was incorrect in how I was describing it.
Yeah.
The baby cage is this thing that kind of hangs off of a balcony, so to speak. So you guys can see, it was one of those things where they can kind of crawl out through a window. This was in the 19th century. So I can see exactly why that's a horrible idea. That is significantly horrible, ridiculous. No matter how you look at it, for them to crawl out through the window, no matter how high up you are, that's just dangerous.
That's weird.
Your child could fall out of the damn cage or the window. You know what I mean?
That probably happened too.
That's probably why it doesn't exist. That's probably exactly why it doesn't exist.
Oh, Lord.
Yay or nay on the baby cage, yo?
Baby cages, nah. I don't with baby cages.
Nah.
I don't even have a baby yet. I don't even.
And when you do, I think it'll be all girls, bro. I think you have girls.
No. I'm going to have a son, Ramon Wise III.
I have this fear, what if I can only produce females?
I
have two girls.
Unless you go to one of them, you got money and go to one of them genetic labs and they can make you a baby that play the piano.
Baby genius.
Yeah,
or baby geniuses.
Sure. That's facts now. That's real. Celebrities do that shit.
Well, apparently Michael Jackson did.
Cause no, Michael Jackson, he used to get his ass whooped to be the man he was. Like,
well, I mean, with his kids though, apparently.
Oh yeah, his kids. Oh, for sure. His kids don't look nothing like him.
No, not at all. Like, do you think they're like biological?
No, I think they're adopted, bro.
Yeah.
They have to be adopted.
Yeah.
I think he probably got one kid that's probably his that's just hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what Billie Jean is about.
yeah,
You know?
just hidden. Like,
So the conspiracy that I always heard is that Billie Jean is about him and Diana Ross. Have you ever heard that?
mm-hmm.
So if you listen like to the lyrics and stuff,
Yeah.
And
But I think Michael Jackson, he died, and it was just a clone or another person.
What?
When you told me that episode, Atlanta, Atlanta's one of the hottest TV shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, I showed you that episode.
That was an A. But yeah, it's like kind of a story about him in a weird way too.
Super creepy too.
And I told you about the one guy that was actually Michael Jackson.
The burnt guy.
The burnt guy. Yeah.
I still
on live
find
television
that,
on CNN.
What was his name? Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
got the same eyes there as
the
Michael
voice
Jackson.
and everything. I was like, bro, there's no way. Who are you fooling? I know they're on some island.
They said that's either like a clone that messed up in a laboratory that was like had a persona as Michael Jackson, or that's one conspiracy.
Yeah.
And the other conspiracy is that's him actually when he got burnt up in the Pepsi commercial. When he started going through the vertigo and all the skin
Well,
stuff.
that's really him. He let himself go. Quite significant.
And then they saying, that's actually him that let himself go, and he's just hiding in straight public, like
that's
as
crazy.
Dave, like
I don't know, because because perfect
people say
conspiracy.
he's alive though. People
Perfect, like ridiculous conspiracy. So
That's ridiculous.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
Michael Jackson fan. I remember that shit when he died. The day he died, it was pouring down raining here. It was dark. And it was raining like crazy.
Oh, it was raining, yeah.
My mom, she calls me because she knows I'm a Michael Jackson fan. By the way, I was a basement kid.
Yeah.
So, what I mean by that, I literally lived in the basement at my biological mom's house. Like, I had this bed, one dim light. You probably wouldn't want to come over, but I wasn't creepy like that. It was just one of those things. I just lived in the basement.
He got a ball,
so,
right?
Yeah, like, hey guys, you want to come to the basement? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't set it up like that. That's just how our house was.
Razor scratch on the window. Got the concrete.
Tally marks on the wall. What's going on? Why do you have all these license plates?
That's my friend. That's my friend. My friend Tommy.
This is not any way related to my history. I'm just
my friend
back to
Tommy
Michael
over there.
Jackson.
There's a bunch of skulls and bones.
So, in my basement dungeon room, I had like a Michael Jackson shrine.
Yeah.
So she calls me like after school and she's like, "Hey, you know Michael Jackson's dead." I was like, "Okay, whatever. Yeah, right. You playing because I love this man. I love Michael Jackson. Like
my mom called me too though.
And then I get home, it's on the news, it's on BET.
Everywhere.
As soon as it's on BET, you gotta believe it.
That's though, to me as a kid, I was like,
and I was like, wow, he's actually dead. I thought he was eternal. That's crazy. But hear me out. We already know like he was like, there were like things he was dealing with Sony. There was financial things going on, and then he's about to go on tour. What is his tour called? This Is It. And he has the movie that comes out after he dies called This Is It. Where it's his final send-off. He's got all these other new songs that are on there. So to me, conspirizing, if somebody wanted to go out, you wanted to pay off some debt, but like kind of get away from everything, fake your death. Have this final goodbye tour. And this all happened significantly around the same time. So that's why
weird to me too.
If anyone wanted to disappear, and plus with him always, Michael was known for disguising himself, by the way. Like because Michael Jackson can't just go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like he's gotta be in
suit or something.
Costume. Like that's what he would do. With him and his kids, they would be masked up in some weird disguise. I mean, it's Michael Jackson. One of the biggest stars, period. Like regardless.
Yeah.
Like to this day. So if he really did go under like some type of disguise and is still alive, I could see that's one conspiracy I will buy into. Facts. Let me know what y'all think. Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
That's a good one. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. It is ridiculous.
Who knows?
Yeah.
They say it about like Tupac, Elvis.
They've been saying that for years. years. Elvis is dead for sure.
Yeah, always be saying he died on the toilet. That's real facts.
Elvis,
Elvis has left the building, y'all.
Yeah. Thank you
He
very
just
much.
went home. But they be saying that he went home.
No, there's no way.
But
now, wait.
Tupac.
So, I will say this.
Yeah.
There's something weird. This was kind of getting it. I seen it on the Alien documentary. But no one is allowed to just walk up to the White House and go in and talk to the president. However, Nixon, he was a big fan of Elvis.
Yeah, he was a.
And one day, Elvis, you can look this up, this is a real story. Elvis just walks up to the White House and says he wants to talk to President Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
And Nixon lets him in. And no one in history has ever been able to just walk into the White House
They made movies
and talk
about
to the
that.
president.
Yeah.
So, and this was an Alien documentary. I can't remember which one it was. But I did think that was one weird, strange, like, ridiculous story about, like, Elvis and kind of his history with Nixon. It's like, who does that? Like, how are you able to just walk into the White House
So that power,
and go?
yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know how that. I don't know why it was in an Alien documentary. I don't know if they were trying to say Elvis was an alien or not. I don't know.
And Men in Black.
Look it up.
Men in Black. They talked about Elvis. So that's the saying. Like Elvis has left the building. He has went home.
He's an alien.
And Men in Black, they said he went home when he was still alive. He just went back to his planet.
We'll never know.
But no, that's Elvis. I don't know. I just know the real facts that Elvis stole his swag and his persona from the black community.
Well,
He got it from the
I was
culture.
literally talking about this about like.
That's facts though.
Yeah.
But music in general, you think about
Music,
like jazz,
yeah.
you think about punk rock, for instance.
Yeah.
Rock itself, rock and roll, like there's a lot of stuff like culturally
Mm-hmm.
that like did start with black people.
Yeah.
Certain songs and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
lot
for
of
real.
like the history. If you get into the history of music, it's ridiculous how
Mhm.
much has come from like black culture for sure.
Yeah.
And another thing I've seen too that's interesting, like structure wise, if you take certain things out of the history of black culture, then it's made to seem as if you are whitewashed, right? But if those things were originally ours, then it brings about this different psychological interpretation of like, well, this doesn't mean that I'm trying to be something that I'm not because this originally belonged to my group of people, right? When you think about styles of music, styles of clothing, it's like, hey, these things started here, but if you try to wipe that away out of history and say like, oh, this was brought about by this group or whatever, this is more European than it is of, black or African descent, I'm specifically referring to music, rock and roll, those kind of things. If you guys know the history behind that, it wasn't necessarily Caucasian where those things started from.
Mm-hmm.
That's just facts in our history.
Everybody made music, every culture, everybody.
So,
but I'll say the
interesting.
swag and the popularity, like everything about it, just how it is, like what all started it and where it all like came from, the history behind it, like what it is today.
Yep.
Right. I'll say it predominantly like it comes from a specific culture, I guess, a specific community. Yeah. I don't. That topic. They say, we got the freedom of speech in the United States of America, but you can't always say everything you want to say, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be.
Well, you
it's
can.
like a skating on ice.
You have the risk of getting canceled, right?
But the cancel community is over with. But you can still, just people will look at you and look like, people's feelings. We live in a very sensitive world today.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yes. We live in it's a very weird world now.
Everyone's kind of like everyone's pussies these
That's
days.
what they want
you
to be.
Definitely everyone got soft.
Yeah.
For real.
But but you're right. Yeah. So, but
when we were kids, like we pick on each other, like we talk about each other, or different races and shit. But it was more so a thing of, it was inclusive. It wasn't like, you were just trying to bash people just to bash them. Like people didn't take it as serious. And I think that it always goes back to parents, the adults of today's age too. You have to be mindful of how you raise your kids, like to not, take things into like crazy. I don't know. We were just raised
pretty much ridiculous.
So we're getting to the end of our show. What are we leaving people with, y'all? Give me something. What's some motivation? What's tingling in your balls right now that you want to give out to our viewers right now? What are you guys feeling? You know, if you're feeling some type of itch, go get that checked out.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe, yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
Subscribe.
Yeah. That's ridiculous, y'all.
Yeah.
Wise Ramon. We got Kurran, Swaggy D.
Make sure you guys subscribe.
Vontae.
What are we leaving people with?
Like you said, it's a full circle. Anything can be ridiculous. You know, it's a full circle. Like we said.
Full circle.
Okay, all right. And from the beginning, when we were talking about what was the most ridiculous thing that we went through in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, it's like you said, it's always a full circle, man.
Yeah.
It's always the beginning and it's the end, and it's it's the trend. How God works.
I feel you.
There's a beginning, there's always an end. As there's the end, there's always a beginning.
Hey,
okay, but all right, it's a full circle. All right, okay, like I said, you can't, you said in the beginning, you can't always change yourself. Don't change yourself. Like I was talking about.
Oh, for other people. Yeah.
You gotta be yourself, man. Just be yourself. Yep. Just be yourself. That's that's the most motivational.
Yeah, man.
Aspiration, words of life.
Hey, man. Hey, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, be yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm going with this because since we were talking about inventions, how things are working.
Yeah.
And then going into, other ridiculous topics. Anyway,
yeah.
But trusting the process and that everything that we're doing, it finds a way.
Yep.
And whether it's not the same way that we think it's going to happen, you might have a different way of it being what's successful for you, or what's you gain in life, or what you get in being successful and being in life, or what I do.
Yeah.
If you just keep working at it and just trust the process, everything will come together, whether it's inventing something ridiculous or cool, or whether it's becoming a streamer and being able to, gather that hard, tough exterior motive and being able to be entertaining to people, or even just nowadays, we let people, speak negativity and also not being able to be ourselves and getting into everybody's business and not being how before we don't really care what you say, he said, or whatever, and being being soft. You gotta harden up and be able to actually get this process through.
Yeah, be like Anakin Skywalker.
No.
Don't kill younglings. That's not what I'm saying. But here's the thing: Anakin Skywalker.
Be like Yoda.
He was the chosen one. Anakin was the chosen one. Okay, it was predicted that he would destroy the Sith, not join them. He became Darth Vader, became a Sith Lord, but he still defeated the Emperor. He still defeated the Sith in the end.
No.
It just was not in the way that people expected, right?
No.
That's exactly what Swaggy D was saying. He still was the chosen one. That's what Return of the Jedi is all about. It's about the return of Anakin Skywalker.
No, don't.
You know what I mean? Your path may not be the way you may think it's going, but in the end, you still are
Yoda
on the right path.
We got Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Be like them.
They all died.
Yoda, you got Yoda. Shoot, man, you be like them, y'all.
But Anakin was the chosen one. He just fulfilled the prophecy in a way that nobody expected.
But he accepted. He's it's pretty much saying you accepting Luciferian and demonic.
But no one ever expected. No one ever expected him to defeat Palpatine.
Don't be like that.
By joining the Sith. No one ever expected that.
Sometimes
I'm not saying be a bad boy or bad girl.
I'll give it to you. Okay, I'll give this one to you.
Yeah.
In order to make it to the light, in order to learn from the mistakes you either fail, you either have to go through that darkness to make it to the light.
Yes.
And always make it to the light at the end of the tunnel.
And
that's what Anakin went through. But don't, man. When you go to church and you hear your parents and they tell you just to be a good person, please, everybody, do that. Just be a good person, man. Good. Come on. When the church tells you it's possible to be a good, it is. There's always going to be temptation.
Man. Just be a good person, right?
Be a good person. Don't be like no Anakin. Don't accept the darkness. Don't even tempt. No.
Don't kill younglings. Just
forget temptations, y'all.
person.
Forget idolizing and material stuff.
Yeah,
for real.
Yep. What matters most is the relationships that you build. And
stay away. Path. Even though I went through a specific path in my life, I made my own steps.
We all have.
Yeah, we all had a journey.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But
you're absolutely right. And that's why Anakin is important.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
Because he was the chosen one. The chosen one. We appreciate y'all. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and comment. What are some ridiculous inventions that you might know of? Or other topics that you might want us to talk about? We love to hear. Much love. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Yup. That's ridiculous.